Thank you for joining me again. I'm Luna Celestine. If you're a Leo, or if Leo lives in your moon or rising sign, then today's message is meant especially for you. And I want to begin not with answers, but with a question. How are you really feeling as you enter this moment? Depending on where you are in the world, the pink full moon arrives on April 12th or 13th, but what matters more than timing is what this moon is stirring within you. Because this isn't just another lunar cycle, it's a threshold. One timeline leads back to what you've already known, already outgrown. The other leads forward, toward a version of yourself that is clearer, deeper, and far less willing to compromise. I'm not here to promise a perfect future. I'm here to help you meet the present with presence. Because something subtle is shifting right now. Old dreams are resurfacing, old patterns are losing their grip, and choices that have been circling in your mind are ready to be made. This full moon won't demand urgency. It invites awareness. It doesn't shout, it whispers, but its pull is real. You are standing at a turning point, and what matters most is not speed, but clarity. In the next part of this video, we'll explore what this moment means for you through the lens of love, purpose, healing, and alignment. But for now, let's begin by slowing down, because the most powerful transformations rarely begin with movement. They begin with stillness. This full moon in Libra is not loud, but it is honest. It acts like a mirror, not one that flatters, but one that reveals. And what it's reflecting back to you now, Leo, isn't just what you've become, but what you're still carrying even though it no longer fits. Old identities, outgrown roles, expectations that were never truly yours. All of it is coming into focus, not to shame you, but to invite you to let go. For many of you, there's been a quiet sense of standing at a crossroads, two timelines pulling in opposite directions. One feels familiar, even if it's heavy. The other feels uncertain, but strangely magnetic. And you may be wondering which version of yourself you're meant to choose. The truth is, you've already felt the answer. In your body. In your dreams. In the conversations that leave you feeling more alive or more exhausted. This moon is here to help you trust what you already know, because every decision you make right now is not just about what you want, it's about what you're aligning with. Every yes, every no is an act of choosing a future, not someday, now. And that's why this moment matters so much. Not because something dramatic is happening outside of you, but because something profound is shifting inside of you. You're remembering what it feels like to belong to yourself again, to be led by your own rhythm, not someone else's map. So if the mirror feels uncomfortable, sit with it a little longer, let it speak. Because what it's really showing you is the you that's ready to rise. Let's talk about your finances now, Leo, because under this Libra full moon, where balance and clarity take center stage, you're being asked to look closely at the structures you've built and the ones that no longer hold. This isn't just about numbers, it's about energy, where your time has gone, where your generosity has been met or left unanswered, where you've poured effort without return, not because you were careless, but because you've been trying to sustain things that may have already expired. Some of you may feel a bit stretched right now, financially, emotionally, or both. But this full moon offers a recalibration, a chance to return to financial integrity, to ask yourself, what does sustainability look like for me now, not just materially, but energetically? Maybe that means pulling back from commitments that drain you. Maybe it means investing in something that feels more aligned, even if it doesn't look impressive from the outside. Maybe it's as simple as finally acknowledging your worth and adjusting what you charge, what you accept, or what you continue to give. This moon is not here to shame you for what's been lost or delayed. It's here to help you see, clearly, what is no longer negotiable. You're not meant to survive by constantly overgiving. You're meant to thrive through aligned exchange. If you've been waiting for a breakthrough, a shift in your work, a return on an effort, a new stream of income, it may not come as a loud arrival. It might show up in a question. What if you stopped trying to prove your value and started expecting it to be honored? You're not starting from scratch. You're starting from experience. And this time, you're not looking for permission. You're moving with awareness. In the next section, we'll explore how this same sense of balance and reclamation is beginning to move through your relationships, both past and present, because the way you value yourself financially is never separate from how you allow yourself to be loved. And now, Leo, let's speak of love. Because if there's one truth that follows you through every chapter, it's that your heart was never meant to be quiet. You were born to feel fully, to love deeply, and to be met in that same depth. But here's the part you may be beginning to realize under this full moon. You've outgrown love that asks you to shrink. Libra's energy invites balance, but not at the cost of truth. And for you, that means examining where your love has become performance instead of presence. Where you've stayed patient but not seen, loyal but not nourished, devoted but silently aching. This moon may bring clarity in soft, unexpected ways, a shift in how someone speaks to you, a moment of eye contact that lands differently, a memory that stings in a way it didn't before. Pay attention. These are not distractions. They're signals. For those of you in partnership, the mirror this moon holds up is not meant to divide, it's meant to reveal. It asks, are you truly meeting each other? Or are you managing each other? You're being called into a deeper honesty now. Not dramatic confrontation, but spacious truth. You don't need to defend yourself, but you do need to be yourself. If there is love here, it will expand to meet that truth. If not, you will know. And if you're moving through this moon alone, without a partner, or recovering from a love that couldn't hold you, know this. This isn't emptiness. It's room. Room for something new, something truer. Not love that you chase, but love that arrives when you've stopped negotiating your worth. The version of you that's emerging now doesn't need convincing. They need to be met. Let this full moon be a gentle closing to whatever has run its course, and an invitation to love that begins with you and doesn't end when someone else walks away. We'll close this journey soon with a ritual to anchor this transformation. But for now, stay with this question. What does love feel like when it doesn't cost you your center? Let us close this journey under the light of the pink full moon with a quiet yet powerful messenger, the number 1. You may have seen it without trying, on clocks, receipts, or subtle signs that appeared when your mind was elsewhere. This is no coincidence. The universe speaks often in symbols, and this number, more than anything, marks a beginning. Not the noisy kind, not the kind others need to witness or validate, but the kind that stirs quietly in the soul. The moment you realize that the chapter you've been living has gently run its course, and the next one is waiting for you to write the first word. The number 1 is here to remind you that you are standing at the edge of new territory. A cycle is being reset. Energetically, emotionally, perhaps even materially, you are being asked to let go of repetition and step into authorship. This isn't a beginning that comes with certainty. It rarely does. Instead, it comes with alignment, with a deep inner sense that something has shifted, that the old rhythms no longer apply, and that your energy is no longer meant to orbit around what used to define you. This is a new current, and you are not being pushed. You are being invited. What's essential to understand now is this. You do not need agreement from others to begin again. You do not need to wait for applause or confirmation. The only permission required is your own. And that, Leo, is what this full moon, paired with the presence of this number, is truly about. It's not about rushing forward with plans. It's about remembering that you are the one holding the pen, that you are the one who will either stay seated in what's familiar or stand and take the first true step into the unknown. This is what it means to lead your own life, not by force, not by proving, but by presence. By being the first to believe in your vision, even when no one else can see it yet. By choosing yourself, not as an act of rebellion, but as an act of return. There is power in being first, not because of status, but because of trust. Trust in your own rhythm. Trust in your own knowing. Trust that what you are building now, in small and subtle ways, is already enough to anchor the path ahead. So let the number 1 stay with you. Not as pressure to act, but as a reminder that the door has quietly opened, and when you are ready, you can walk through it, not to become someone else, but to finally, fully become yourself. So what now, Leo? Insight alone doesn't transform a life. Embodiment does. And while this pink full moon in Libra may have illuminated what needs to shift, soften, or be released, the deeper invitation is found in how you choose to move forward. This isn't about urgency. It's about alignment, about translating realization into rhythm, and about learning to walk differently, not because the road has changed, but because you have. Start by releasing, consciously and completely, what you already know is done. This doesn't need to be loud, it doesn't require confrontation, but it does require honesty. Perhaps there's a belief you've outgrown, the need to be chosen to feel worthy, the idea that love must be earned, or the pressure to constantly perform in order to belong. Perhaps it's a behavior, overextending yourself, silencing your needs, dimming your joy for someone else's comfort. Don't try to let go of everything at once. Choose one thread, one pattern, one outdated truth. Write it down. Speak it aloud. Burn it, bury it, release it in water. Let the ritual be simple but intentional. Let it mark the point where you stop carrying what was never meant to come with you. Then, create something small but sacred that supports your energy. You don't need to overhaul your entire life or commit to grand routines that exhaust more than they nourish. But your fire, Leo, your natural radiance, needs a container, a structure, a quiet rhythm where it can burn steadily without going out. That might mean waking up 10 minutes earlier to sit in stillness. It might mean setting boundaries around your time or practicing presence with your money, your body, your relationships. One consistent practice. One space where you show up fully, not for anyone else, but for yourself. Over time, that space becomes your anchor. It becomes the place you return to when the world pulls too hard or when your own voice becomes difficult to hear. Finally, let yourself make one choice, just one, from the version of you who already trusts your path. There's something you've been circling, a decision you've delayed, a truth you've minimized to keep the peace or avoid discomfort. This is your moment to act, not from fear, but from knowing, not from the part of you that doubts, but from the part of you that remembers. You don't need to map out every step, you just need to move differently than you did before. Choose as if you've already become the person you're growing into. Choose as if life will meet you where you're finally ready to arrive. This full moon doesn't ask for perfection, it asks for presence. It doesn't demand that you be fearless, but that you be real. And in your realness, in your quiet, consistent choices, something begins to take shape. A life that fits, a rhythm that sustains, a fire that no longer flickers to please others, but burns because it is rooted, protected, and fully your own. This is how it begins, Leo, not with spectacle, but with sincerity. And so we arrive at the end of today's journey, Leo, or perhaps more truthfully, the beginning. This pink full moon in Libra didn't come to shake your world. It came to show you where you're ready to live it more truthfully. It came to reflect not just what needs to change, but what is already changing. You've seen the mirror, you've felt the shift, and now, what you do with it? That's the part no one else can write for you. You don't need to move fast, you just need to move with awareness. Honor what's closing, stay present with what's opening, And remember that your power was never in how loudly you performed. It was always in how deeply you belonged to yourself. In this new cycle, may you choose the path that feels rooted, not rushed. May you speak from the place inside you that no longer needs to be convinced. And may you know, without needing proof, that what's meant for you will never ask you to abandon who you are to receive it. You are not behind. You are not late. You are precisely on time for the life that is finally ready to meet you. Thank you for walking this moment with me. I'm Luna Celestine. Until next time, take gentle care of your light and trust that it knows the way.